They thought it was just another accident on the roadside, but no one knew that within 18 minutes, a shocking truth would walk through the hospital door. On a warm evening in Atlanta, a retired black veteran named James Carter was riding his old motorcycle home. For him, this bike was more than a ride. It was freedom, a reminder of battles he had survived overseas. But fate had other plans. As James waited at a red light, a young biker sped through the crossing and slammed into him. The sound of metal clashing filled the air. James was thrown onto the ground, motionless, while people screamed and rushed to help. The biker, a man barely in his 20s, stood frozen. His hands shook, his face pale, and instead of running away, he kept whispering to himself, "What have I done?" Within minutes, an ambulance arrived and carried James to the hospital. Doctors fought to stabilize him as nurses rushed in and out, every second critical. The young biker sat outside the emergency room, his head buried in his hands, guilt pressing down on him like a mountain. 18 minutes later, the door opened, and a tall man in military uniform stepped inside. His heavy boots echoed against the floor as his eyes scanned the room until they landed on James. Lying weak on the hospital bed, the young biker looked up and his heart nearly stopped. The soldier was James's only son, Marcus. The atmosphere turned heavy as Marcus walked closer and whispered, trembling, "That man you hit is my father." The biker's body stiffened with shock, realizing he had struck the very man who had raised the soldier he respected from afar. Marcus's voice shook with pain, torn between duty, anger, and love. James slowly opened his eyes, his son holding his hand tightly. But instead of anger, James whispered, "Forgive and live better." Tears ran down the biker's face as he broke down, realizing this was not just an accident but destiny. And just when everyone thought the moment had ended, the nurse returned with a file, her voice low but clear. "The biker's name is Daniel Carter." Silence filled the room. Marcus's eyes widened as he turned toward the young man. The biker he thought was a stranger was actually his half-brother, a secret his father had kept hidden for years. The accident that could have taken a life had uncovered a family torn apart, but also offered a chance for forgiveness and truth. Sometimes accidents don't just break bones. They reveal hidden connections that change everything. If this story touched you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories.